Hello everybody, good evening. Happy Friday. Welcome to Fry's Corner Bar, and tonight we are featuring margaritas, a regular traditional margarita and a watermelon margarita. So Shannon will be taking care of that, but before we get into that, I'd like to just spend a couple of minutes and talk to you about tequila. I'm sure everybody has tried various tequilas. Tequila is always 100% blue agave. It cannot be anything other than blue agave. I want to mention also that there are 5 styles of tequila, and that is all determined by the barrel time, the time that it's in the barrels to age. And I'm sure in college everybody drank Jose Cuervo, and I hope that no one watching this ever drinks that again, because Jose Cuervo is not really pure tequila. It's called mixto. And what it is it's 51% blue agave and 49% other sugared spirits. And if you ever drank that in college and you swear you'd never drink tequila again, it's probably because you had Jose Cuervo, and it's because of all the sugar content within that, and that's what makes you feel so bad the next day. So if you have any, throw it away. Don't throw it down your septic because it'll probably destroy it. Anyway, let me talk about 5 styles. The first one is extra or ultra, and that is usually tequila that has been aged 3 years or longer. And that is a very smooth tequila. That's one that you would want to drink just straight up, neat, at room temperature. It's not one you would want to really chill down or have it shaken or over ice. You want to drink that. That's a nice sipping tequila. The next one is anejo, and that one is typically aged from 1 year up to 3 years. That's also a very smooth tequila. That is one that you would drink neat. I actually have one right here. You can see this has been aged in either French or American oak barrels. That's usually what they use. They can also use port barrels, sherry, wine, and there was one other one, I can't remember the name of it, but anyway. So that's what gives it this nice color, and what happens is the tequila, as it soaks into that wood, the wood imparts various flavors and taste in that. So it's typically French or American oak. The next one would be Raspado. Now that is also aged, and it's a little lighter, as you can see, versus the anejo. This one is aged anywhere from 60 days to 364 days. It's less than a year. It's also a very nice, smooth tequila. You can also mix with that one. I wouldn't usually ever mix with an anejo because it's just such a nice tequila. I'd never mix with an ultra or an extra. And then the next one that we have is a blanco. Blanco is not aged at all. It can be aged in a stainless steel barrel, but it doesn't impart any flavor to it. It's typically the one that you would mix with. You can serve that over ice. Sometimes it's got more of a bite to it, but it's still very good. So the last one would be, it's called Joven, and I have a Joven here. This one, is this the Joven? Nope, that's the Anejo. I thought I had a Joven. Joven is actually an unaged Blanco tequila, but they add some sweeteners or some other additives to it to sort of mellow out the taste. It's unaged, but they add a little bit of stuff to it to sort of mellow that out, so it takes a little bit of the bite away. And what else do we have? Mezcal. Mezcal, I don't know if you've ever seen that. If you have, you probably saw the bottle with the little worm in there, so don't drink that stuff, okay? If you're gonna drink mezcal, you wanna find a nice mezcal. And mezcal can also come in 3 of the different styles, the anejo, the blanco, as well as the raspado. And I like to drink mezcal just straight up, always at room temperature, never shaken over ice or anything of that nature. And it's not 100% blue agave. It's a combination of up to 30 different agave plants. And what they do is they take the heart of the agave and they roast it over charcoal and wood, and that imparts a nice smokiness to it. So whenever you smell a mezcal, you can smell a little bit of smokiness to it. And different ones will have a different intensity of smoke flavor, but it's an awesome straight up drink just like this. This is a Blanco, or actually this is a Joven, but it's 80 proof. You can use mezcal in cocktails. The two that come to mind for me would be the Mezcal Negroni and the Old Haka. And the Old Haka is sort of like an old fashioned. When you mix it, you would use 50% tequila, 50% mezcal, and then you mix it up as you would an old fashioned with your simple syrup, your orange slice, and maybe a little dash of water. Let me think. Anything else I want to cover on this, Shannon?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to the mixologist, and she's going to go through two really good margaritas. I tried the watermelon one a couple of nights ago, and it was super good. So, all right. Good luck. Love you. Yeah, let me move this out of your way.
Okay, I'm just gonna do a little shifting here so I can be more centered to the camera. If you guys noticed, we've shifted up the view to a more landscape view. So we'll see how that goes tonight when we post it. I'm interested in seeing it. Okay, so I'm actually going to start with the classic margarita first because it's very similar to the watermelon margarita, and then that way it'll be less cleanup after I get ready. But first I'm going to do a shot of tequila. Cheers.
Cheers. That might have been mezcal. I don't know. I kind of mixed them up.
Oh, that was the mezcal, which I love, the mezcal. Okay, so we're going to start. I have two chilled margarita glasses. The classic margarita takes kosher salt, which is just coarse salt. I've mixed that up in this little dish. And then the watermelon margarita takes pink Himalayan salt, it's extra fine, as well as chipotle pepper. And I'm using the chipotle versus another chili powder pepper because I like that smokiness with the watermelon. I think it tastes excellent. So to rim our glass, you just take a small wedge of lemon, and lime, and you just really just edge it around the glass to get it moist. And then you just dip your glass into your little dish. You can use a plate or anything, and I just take it around a couple of times, and you'll notice that puts a nice little coating. Some people don't like a full rim of salt. They just like half a rim. So if that's the case, you just do half the glass. So, but we both like salt. So, and I actually think the salt makes the margarita taste delicious. It brings out the sweetness of the wine. Okay, so I'm going to set these glasses off to the side while I make the classic margarita. So again, because we have some lime juice, this is a shaken drink, not a stirred drink. And I always like to measure the agave out first, just so that when I add other ingredients to the shaker, it kind of gets the sugar out of there. So 1/4 ounce blue agave, and the agave is a nice sweetener to the margarita because the tequila itself is made from agave, so you're kind of opening up those flavors. And then I have some fresh squeezed lime juice, which I'm going to pour into the shaker, 1 ounce. And then we're going to use an orange liqueur. Now, most people say, triple sec or Cointreau. Those are really just name brands for orange liqueur. So, I have this dry curacao, which is an orange liqueur, and I also have a Patron Citron orange liqueur. And I just ended up buying this. I had gone to a small liquor store, and they didn't have Cointreau, which is what I typically like, so I bought the Patron orange liqueur, and I actually really enjoyed it. So I am going to use that. There's 3/4 ounces of the orange liqueur. And then we're going to use 2 ounces of the Blanco or silver tequila. As Mike was saying, you could use a Raspado, but I actually love the taste of tequila, so I find a Raspado isn't as, it's delicious, but in a cocktail, you can't taste it as well. So there's 2 ounces of the tequila. Now I'm going to add ice to the shaker. I'm going to move my ice bucket over here. That's killing Mike that I dropped ice on the floor, so get it, baby. You can pick it up. Now, this drink, because and again, I'm not shaking it up and down, I'm kind of doing a circular motion it's really kind of a stirring of the ice. You don't want to break any of the ice edges off. You actually want your ice to be kind of round when you're done. Now, because this drink is going to be served on the rocks, you really just are using it to mix the ingredients. You don't want to dilute it too much because it will get diluted in the cocktail itself. And actually, I still have some agave in there I'm going to try to get out. I am going to shake it now to try to get the agave. Okay, and so now this is a double strained drink. And what I like to do, and let me see, I don't know if you can see this, is I actually put my ice in the glass after I do a pour, and this is similar to the concept that I discussed last week about displacement of garnish. If you're not exactly sure, how much fluid your cup is going to take, I like to fill it with all of the alcohol and then slowly scoop the ice in till the glass is just full. If you fill up the glass with ice and then you end up with more alcohol than can fit in the glass, then you're shorting yourself out of your cocktail. And this cocktail is just garnished with a simple lime. So I'm going to set this to the side. Mike has to wait until I'm done with the watermelon margarita. Now, for the watermelon margarita, I cubed up some watermelon. I actually cubed it up a couple days ago. And what I did was I've pulled the cubes that are off on the bottom of the container because they're kind of floating in juices. So they're really nice and juicy. So I'm going to add just 4 or 5 of these cubes right into, I'm going to do one more, right into the shaker. And then I'm going to muddle this. Now this technique I find, I just really like it because it's simple. You don't have to worry about juicing the watermelon or, running it through a blender and trying to juice it. This way you just muddle it. It'll squeeze all the juices out into your cup. And then since we're going to double strain it, none of that, the watermelon's actually going to end up in your cocktail. So there's 4 of the watermelon, and then an ounce of the lime juice. This is identical to a regular classic margarita. And we do the 3/4 of the orange liqueur. And then 2 ounces of the tequila. And again, I'm just actually going to use the same ice I used for the classic margarita. No reason to waste ice. Again, I'm just stirring it to get all of the ingredients mixed together. And again, this is a double strain. This strainer, this big strainer is going to keep all the watermelon pulp and everything in, and this will the fine strainer will release any of the watermelon pulp or lime pulp that gets in there. And then I'm going to add my ice. So it's full. And now this cocktail, I like to garnish with watermelon. Make it fancy, put a little lime on there, and then also a little top of a mint bouquet. That just gives it a little extra flair. And the other thing that's great about this margarita, if you like mint, you can actually put a couple mint leaves in when you're muddling the watermelon, and it'll be a watermelon mint cocktail. So, honey, you want to come over and taste your cocktail?
Okay. Cheers. I love you.
So, cheers to you. I hope you guys enjoy your margaritas tonight, and we hope to see you back next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.